Good morning, and it's a cold one today. I've not got my rum out here because I'm doing quite a few locks today. So I've just got my trusty insulated thermal cup thing with a nice big coffee in there, strong coffee. Now I've been asked by so many subscribers to show them how I actually do a lock. So you're in for a treat because that's what I'm going to show you now. So we've just got a few locks to do today, and it looks like there's either a boat going up or coming down. So that might help a bit. I've got Jack's with me today as well, but what happens is here is, or on any flight where there's quite a few locks together, it's because I'm used to doing a lot of it on my own. If I've got Jackie on board, she'll go off and just open the gates for me and keep working her way up, and I just do the locks myself. So I'll show you a little bit of that today. It's quite narrow here because all the hire boats are back at base. No one's out on them because they've got sense not to cruise in this weather. Yes. So Jackie's opened the gates for me, which is fantastic because I can go straight into the lock now, and then she'll walk ahead and start setting the next few locks. So it means I'll do the locks on my own. As you can see, I got off the boat at the steps. I didn't climb the ladders on this one, and she'll just go in now with a little bit of momentum, hopefully. She's going in very slowly now. And then once she's in, I'll shut these gates and slowly open the paddles. So opening the paddles releases water into the lock where the boat is, and the water will fill up and the boat will rise with it. Always keep an eye on your boat though, because if the water is rushing in too fast or the boat's getting thrown about, you can always wind your paddle down a little bit. So the trick is to just do it slowly. I tend to do a bit of a turn on that one, then a bit of a turn on the next one, and then she slowly comes up quite evenly. Let's go and do the next paddle. On locks that I'm not familiar with, or it's quite a deep one, I will sometimes only just do the one paddle. This one's a bit of a gusher. Way! So as you can see now, the boat's almost at the top of the lock and it starts to make its way forward, and when it does this, it hits the lock gate very, very gently, but enough to knock my GoPro into the water. So the first thing I did was just check the boat was okay, which she was, and then I went to the back of the boat and got out my sea searcher magnet, and I went and started to try and look for it. I had to get down on my knees. Luckily the GoPro was on a magnetic mount, so I knew that the magnet would pick it up. What a palaver. So excuse the footage here guys, this was from my phone, which was right on the back of the boat. I've just had to zoom in really, really far so you can see me on my knees. So luckily guys, I managed to fish it out and it's now drying on my roof. I also dropped the 2 paddles, but what I'm going to show you now is how I actually shut my own gate when I'm on my own. So basically I just cruise out of the lock, but really, really slowly, and I just grab the rope and stop the boat so she's stopped past the gate so I'm able to shut it. I also throw my centre line really far across the towpath, and then I just shut my own gate. Look at that, with one arm and all. Look how strong I am. Whee! Wow, that's all that rum that does that, you know. And then I just walk back then towards the boat and find my rope. Make sure it's not landing in a big pile of dog poo. There it is. And then I just climb back on the boat. That was a bit of a nightmare. I dropped my GoPro in the canal during that locking adventure. So I managed to get it out. A bit of a drama. So just got to wait for it to dry out now. Hopefully it'll still work. They are meant to be waterproof. But whilst I was doing that fiasco, Jackie's able to set the next lock, and she's walked up now to the next lock, so it just makes things a little bit quicker normally. A bit quicker, just faffing around for about 10 minutes trying to find your bleeding GoPro. So on this lock I'm going to go up the ladder this time, a little bit of a danger, and I'll take the rope with me. Now sometimes the ladder's really far forward, sometimes they're in the middle, but this one's quite well positioned, it's at the back. Just got to be careful and be aware of all the lock slime. It can be quite slippy and it gets on all your clothes, you're filthy. Right, I'll probably get told off for this, but I'm climbing up now with a windlass in one hand and my rope in the other. Not ideal. If I was normally doing the locks myself, I'd make sure that I left the windlass there when I opened the gates, just so it's ready to use once I'd climbed up the ladder. I just throw the rope onto the grass there, just so it's somewhere that I can easily grab it, especially on the single locks. You shouldn't need to grab the rope if you do the lock slowly. I use the rope a lot more when the boat is going down in a lock because the boat can slide backwards and get caught on the sill, so I always make sure I've got the rope when I am going down in a lock. I just bum the gates shut. Whee! The other thing that I do is once I've opened the paddle a bit is I go back and I do check on my boat just to check that the water's not rushing in too fast or the boat's not flowing backwards. So basically guys, the secret of doing the locks is just to do them really slowly if you're on your own. If you're on the boat and somebody else is doing the locks for you, you can do them a lot faster because you've got control of the engine. But when you're off the boat, you've just got to do it slow because otherwise the boat could swing forward and backwards. But yeah, stay slow, nice and safe, and it's all good. Well, hey, let's speed this up. Of when you're doing all the locks and stuff is all this slimy lock jism. It's horrible. It gets all over your clothes, all on your hands, on your windlass, on the ropes, everywhere. It's horrible. So this is the last lock now of the day. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm walking, running like I've got piles. The last lot now, and Jackie's gone off to the chippy. It's right by a fish and chip shop and right by a pub. Woohoo! How fantastic is that? It's also right by a road, a noisy road. And we're just going to moor just up there. So Jackie's getting some chips and I'm having a sausage. I love a nice sausage. So that's it now, all moored up, and I'm going to go inside now and eat my sausage. I wish it was bigger. Nice baps there though, Jack. So here we are, we're at Middlewich and it's absolutely freezing and some subscribers just knocked on. Brought me some fantastic presents. Look at this. We've got some rum. Look at that, posh rum. Some eggs so I can practice my omelettes, some lovely donuts, and here she is, Andrea. Say hello, Andrea. Hello. Hey. Fantastic, I do love meeting the subscribers. So how lovely to meet Andrea, absolutely fantastic. She took the time out of her day to bring me some rum. Anyway, the weather soon changed and I ended up being frozen in, so we weren't going anywhere. So whilst it's all frozen outside, let's crack open this rum and give it a try. Oh, you can tell it's a posh one because it's got a cork. Oh, it smells lovely. It smells really caramelly. Oh, Andrea, that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. Let's have a... That's vanilla and ginger spice rum. How lovely is that? Hey, that is really nice. Warms you up. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Andrea. And also a massive thanks to all those that bought me a coffee this week. And also to my new Patreons. Cheers, guys. Woohoo! So a big shout out to this week's pirate crew. Ross and Jeff Bowater, Chris D from Chattanooga, NB Pub Trawler 2, that's a great boat name that is, Leslie Stone, Vincent McNeil, Florida Ron, Ken, Shannon and Rodney, David Van Wart, Ralph Wood, Marcia Nelson, Diamond Geezer, Alan Harbitt and Tim. Also a big thanks to Sue Hunter, Nikki Warren, Stephen Brody, Philip Thorpe, Norm and Laura Vanderhandel and Richard and Joe. And also a massive thank you to my new Patreons. Lots of people were asking for me to set this up, so I've done that. So that's David and Ruth Dolman, Justine C. Diamond, Graham, Sarah Wilskull Smith and Kirsty. So thanks so much, guys. Your support means the world to me. I absolutely love you all, and I'll see you next week.